The Quiet Light of Nurse Mara Cruz. An OFW story about humility, courage, and standing out through kindness. In a quiet hospital room in Abu Dhabi, where machines hummed like distant waves and footsteps echoed across polished floors, worked a Filipina nurse named Mara Cruz. At first glance, she looked like any other nurse in her crisp uniform. But behind that gentle smile was a story shaped by sacrifice, humility, and the unwavering courage of a woman who left home to serve others abroad. This is her journey, the departure. Mara grew up in Bulacan, the eldest of four. Her mother sold vegetables at the market, and her father, once a jeepney driver, fell ill and could no longer work. Mara carried the weight of dreams not for herself, but for her family. When she passed her board exam, she prayed, "Lord, teach me to serve. Help me lift my family. Keep my heart humble." With trembling hands and a hopeful heart, she signed the contract to work as a nurse in Abu Dhabi. She hugged her mother goodbye, her tears soaking her mother's shoulder. A knock. "Wherever you go, remember, kindness is your greatest strength," her mother whispered. The new world. Abu Dhabi greeted Mara with a blast of warm desert wind, a mix of languages, and a hospital twice the size of anything she had seen in the Philippines. Her first weeks were overwhelming. New protocols, fast-paced shifts, senior nurses who hardly smiled, patients who spoke Arabic, English, and languages she barely recognized. She often went home exhausted, her scrubs smelling like antiseptic, and her heart weighed down by homesickness. But Mara reminded herself, "I'm here to learn, to serve, and to grow."
The cold colleague.
Among all her co-workers, one stood out not for kindness, but for her sharp, cold demeanor. Nurse Helena, a veteran nurse, often dismissed Mara's suggestions and criticized her in front of others. During one hectic shift, Helena snapped, "Mara, you're too slow. I'll redo your work." Mara's cheeks burned with embarrassment. Yet, she only bowed her head and replied gently, "I'll improve. Nurse Helena, thank you for guiding me." For humility became the quiet armor she wore every day. Instead of fighting back, she chose to learn, observe, and let her actions speak. The night that changed everything. It was a stormy night when the hospital received a sudden influx of emergency patients due to a major bus accident. The ER was chaotic, alarms ringing, stretchers rushing, people shouting instructions. In the chaos, one critically injured patient began crashing. The doctor shouted for help. Helena hesitated, frozen in panic. Without thinking, Mara rushed forward, initiating CPR, giving clear instructions to junior staff, and stabilizing the patient with steady hands. Her calmness led the entire team. When the patient was finally stabilized and brought to ICU, the doctor said, "Good work, Nurse Cruz, you saved his life." Mara didn't boast. She simply smiled and whispered, "Thank you, Lord." Helena, watching from the corner, felt a sting not of jealousy, but of realization. The humble teacher. From that night onward, Mara's colleagues saw her differently. Doctors sought her opinion. Nurses admired her confidence. Patients loved her gentle touch. But Mara stayed grounded, calm. One day during a difficult shift, Helena approached her. "Can you teach me that technique you used during the emergency?" Helena asked quietly. Mara, instead of recalling all the times Helena belittled her, simply nodded with a warm smile. "Of course, we're a team." She patiently taught Helena, no judgment, no pride, just humility. Helena later admitted, "Mara, I misjudged you. Salamat, you're the kind of nurse I wish I had been." The Filipina heart. More challenges. Came night shifts, difficult patients, long hours away from home, but Mara met every hardship with kindness. When a lonely elderly patient refused to eat, Mara sang him Filipino lullabies. When a new OFW nurse struggled, Mara stayed after shift to help her adjust. When the cleaning staff were ignored by others, Mara thanked them genuinely. Her reputation spread not because she sought it, but because light shines naturally in darkness. The hospital director once told her, "You remind everyone what real nursing is: service with humility." The letter home. Months later, her family in Bulacan received her first big remittance. Along with it was a handwritten letter. "Ma, we may be far, but you are with me every time. I choose kindness over pride. Every time I help someone, it is your voice I hear, reminding me to stay humble. I miss you all. I'm working hard, not for glory, but for purpose, our family's future." Her mother cried, reading it, whispering, "That's my daughter, serving the world with a Filipino heart." The award. 1 year later, during the hospital's annual recognition night, the director called her name. Nurse Mara Cruz, Outstanding Nurse of the Year. Applause erupted. She walked on stage, hands trembling, eyes filled with tears. She spoke softly into the microphone. "Humility is not weakness. It is choosing grace when pride is easier. It is serving, even when no one sees." This award is not mine alone. Belongs to every Filipino working abroad, giving their heart every day. Her coworkers, including Helena, gave her a standing ovation. Years passed, but Nurse Mara Cruz remained the same, gentle, humble, purposeful. She became a mentor to many, a comfort to countless patients, and a symbol of how a Filipina OFW can shine without shouting, lead without dominating, and stand out without seeking attention. Her story reminds us, true greatness is quiet, true strength is humble, and true service is love in action. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate your time and support. If this story inspired you, please don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for more uplifting stories. God bless you always.